Just do them all. And that actually is the little straps that you put your ribbon through at the end. That's how you work the drawstring on the bag, is these wee channels. I think you'd maybe call them casings, if you want to know the technical name. I'm sure Janice Kirkwood will keep me right. She'll be texting me later after she's watched this and says, it's not casings, it's whatever it is. Don't know. I call it casings. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 little bits, all the same size. Okay? Once you've done that, we're going to go on to start sewing the lining together. Okay, so you've got your bands all ready to go. We'll put them to the side. Now I want you to tell me when you are all ready for the next stage. Right, Lisa, well done. She's super speedy.
Hey!
Yeah. It's important these are all the right size. So if one is smaller, I want you to cut them all to the smallest size, so you've got every single size is the same size. And that's what will make the bag look really smart. They've all got to be the same size, okay?
Okay.
Are they all the same size, Rachel? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they look the same size to me, so.
Right, as long as they're all the same length, that's all we need. So they all should be a uniform size. There's mine, all the same size. I've got 8 of them in my fingers there. 8 little channels.
Aye.
Right?
Right, so I put them on the side.
So Rachel's ready, Lisa's ready, Auntie Anne's ready, I'm ready. Martina, Yumi, how are you doing?
I think I'm just gonna check they're all the same size.
Well done. Yumi?
I have a question. So
Yes.
you cut it at the top.
I cut a little tight, see the, I cut a little tiny bit where we had sewed the top short end. I just cut that wee bit away. So once you've done that, just check that the 2 long lengths are the same size. If one's longer than the other, cut it to it's the same size.
Okay, so we cut it at the top.
The top stitched bit.
Yeah. And then
cut all the stitches away. That was only to help you turn it inside out. Okay? But we don't want any stitches on the short ends here. It should be like a wee tube that you've made. You can see right through every one. Okay? And they're all the same size.
and where do you in half?
Yeah, you fold them over like that.
Yeah.
And straighten it up, and then at the fold at the top, just snip right through that fold, and that will help you cut them exactly in half. And you're doing that so you've got 8 pieces. So the 2 pieces will cut into 4, and then those 4 pieces will half again into 8. Okay? You can catch up with that later, Yumi. You know what you're doing, okay? You can just finish that wee bit yourself later. So now we're going to go into the lining piece. Right, so you've got plain lining. There's 5 squares, all exactly the same. They're all 6-inch squares. Right. This one's a 5-inch bag that I've made. So it's going to probably be a similar size. It'll just sit nice in your hand. Okay. In fact, see these wee bits at the top? That's the channels you've just made here. That's the casings for your ribbon.
Alright.
And they'll be popped in when we're assembling the bag. Okay. But we're going to do the inside bit, which in this one it's just all black. So that's what we're doing next, but we've all got light ones today, haven't we? So pick two squares of lining, put them together. So just focus on one raw edge at a time. So I'm going to sew down one side, but I'm not going to go at the edge. I'm going to come in maybe about 1 centimetre from the top, right? So I'm not sewing from the very edge. I'm going to start sewing about 1 centimetre, and I'm going to sew right down, following my foot right down till I get to about 1 centimetre again. And you're going to anchor stitch it at the start and the end. Now an anchor stitch is just like a locking stitch. It's the same, whatever way you want to call it. So you go back and forward for a wee stitch, and then you'll go right down and back and forward for a wee stitch, and leave 1 centimetre at each end. So if you go ahead and do that with your lining, and I'll show you mine when I'm done.
Are you only sewing one line?
One at a time. We're just sewing this one seam.
Okay.
It's just one seam we're doing, but we're going to work our way around all the sides. Okay, so I'm going to start about 1 centimetre in, so I'm working out roughly 1 centimetre. I'm using the edge of my foot as my guide. I'm going to do an anchor stitch.
What's an anchor stitch again?
You just go forward and back for a stitch or two, just stop the seam from ripping away. It just strengthens the start and the end of the seam.
Not mad.
Okay. I'm getting close to my end now, so I'm going to go close, and I'm about 1 centimetre there, and I'm just going to anchor the end again. And then take that out, and I'll show you that in a wee sec. There we go. So I've got a wee space at the start and a wee space at the end, and right down the seam, that one seam, there's just one big stitch line, and that width there, my seam allowance, is the width of my foot. Okay, so tell me when you get to this point, when you're finished.
Had you not sew right to the very end?
No,
Well, I've done that. I've sewed right to the very end.
you need to unpick it. Just unpick it a wee bit. You just need you need this to be open at the ends. We need that. We need to be able to manipulate these ends, right? So you need about 1 centimetre at each end. Okay. So this is your lining. So this is a bit easier to do, so I thought I'd start with this first. So there's my inside. It's all nice neat seam, and then the other side, there's my seam. You can see my black stitch in there, and you can see there's a space at the top and the bottom. Okay. So tell me when you're done. Okay. So open it like this so you can see. You don't want to see the seam, you want to see the nice side. Right, so you can't see my stitches on this side. Open it up. Okay. Like that. And what I'm going to do is get another square, and I'm going to put that square on top of this side. Just pick any side, it doesn't matter. Right, so I've got two squares. Just pick a square and just lay your other square on top of one of those squares, just one, and you're going to line up the raw edge again. So I will show you. So there's I'm keeping that one to the side. So there's my nice edge, there's my seam at the back. I've no want to use the seam end. It's the nice finish I want, and I'm going to lay my other square right on top of that. So I've got another one flopping about here that's joined on already, but we only want to sew this seam here. Does that make sense? So there we go. I've got That's the seam I'm going to sew next. I've got one sewed on here already, and that's the nice side. Right, so that's the right, we call that the right side.
Well,
Okay,
I've done the first one and I've unpicked it.
right, so get your other square,
I've got another square.
and you right sides together again, put another square on top of one of the squares,
Sew it down.
right, and then I'm going to sew right down this side, because that's going to sew down there, and once you do that you'll be able to open it up and it will look like that once it's sewed. That's sewed. I'll go ahead and I'll sew it so you can see it. So you can now see my seam, because I've got these two squares right sides together. So I'm going to sew, you just pick a side basically and sew it. So I'll show you where I'm going to sew exactly. There. So there's my seam. That's the end of my seam. I'm going to show you, sorry, it's awkward. So there's the end, that's my sewed seam. Does that, yeah. Right, that's my sewed seam. Then I've opened that out, given it a wee quarter turn, and now I've got,
I can only see your arm.
right,
Look at the other one, Rachel, there's two screens.
There's a
sorry.
two screen. I can't get it to swipe. I can only see the one screen.
Right, can you see this?
I can see that.
Right. So that's, it's been sewed together. You can see my stitch line, yeah? Open that up. So now you've got a nice, that's your right side and that's your wrong side.
Right.
Now, I want you to put another square on the right side of one of the sewn squares. So basically, I'm going to sew right down this side, and I'll show you that done, and then you'll understand it better once I've done it, I think.
Are you leaving the centimetre gap again?
Every time, because
Right,
we're actually,
I can just start then.
aye, we're just sewing the bottom pieces together. So a centimetre in, an anchor stitch, it's just hard to explain when you're doing it over Zoom something like this.
Oh, you're doing well.
Well, thank you. So you can actually see my seam up here, my last seam, but now I'm going to sew down this. So this piece here is actually in the bag. So now I've got 3 pieces together. One side has got my seams, and one side is nice and clean. That's your right side, and the side that you can see your seams is the wrong side. Right, so all the right sides are nice and neat, you can't see any stitching, but the wrong sides, you'll see 2 seams. So there you go. Can you see that, Auntie Anne?
Yeah, that's great. Look, I mean, so I'm only watching this, I'm not doing it, so, but it's well done. I can see the neat side. I can see the neat side and the sewn side.
Right. So the right side is where you can't see the stitches. See that? That's the right side. That's the wrong side because you can see my seam. Okay.
Thanks, are we just doing that all the way round?
Yeah, so now I can tell that this one here, that's my bottom.
Yeah.
Because you can see two seams, there's a seam there and there's a seam there. So next thing we need to do is this one up here.
Well, you've got me lost because I've just sewed my two seams together, so I've got 3 pieces.
Let me see. No, sorry. You need to unpick one. I'm sorry, Rachel. I'll need to help you with that. If
Yeah,
you
I
quick,
did it now.
just quickly unpick it, it'll not take you long. So you need, there's going to be one, you could maybe even put an X on it, like, I'll show you this. Oh no, that's wrong. Flip. So see that one with the X on it? That's actually going to be the bottom of my bag. So what you end up with is a middle bit and then 4 bits. So it's like a plus sign. It'll be like a plus sign, and that X, that one with the X, sorry, that one with the X there is going to be the bottom. Well, that's right in the middle, and then each side of the square's got one added to it.
I can't see you, Max. I see.
Yes.
It should have been in an L. I should have sewed it in an L shape.
It's going to eventually be like a plus sign. So that middle square, this middle square will have, at each side of it, each of the 4 sides, it's going to have another square sewed onto it. So I'll go and do that. It's a bit tricky, this, isn't it? So
No, if I had waited till you were finished, I would probably have sewn it.
So remember, each time for this base piece, we're no sewing right at the edge. It's a centimetre in each time. Oh, this keeps moving. Right.
Like this.
Yay! Perfect.
Oh, well done.
That's it, Lisa. So that's me get 3 done now. Piece
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And then this is my last bit. So just right sides together. Leave a wee gap at the start and the
When
end.
you're doing that set, see when you're doing that third piece,
Aye.
and you don't need to leave a gap, do you?
Yeah,
You still want to leave a
there should
gap.
be a gap. You're sewing round the 4 sides of one square, and at each end there'll be a wee gap,
Right, okay.
and you need that gap to help finish the cube. How you doing, girls? The wee ones? Alright, Martina? Yumi, you? I have now got a plus sign, and that's the nice side. It's all the seams are all on the wrong side. That's the wrong side. You can see my seams. So that square at the bottom's complete now. I've sewed every side with an extra piece of fabric. So now you've got a big plus sign. So when you get to that point, let me know. Good, Lisa. Teacher's pet right there.
Example.
TP, TP. Let me know when you're
What
done.
what kind of material was that, Mags?
That was just a piece of lining fabric. So it could be a pillowcase. I tend to do a lot of stuff with pillowcases because you can buy different colours, and then if you get nice fabric, then use a bit of cheap pillow or something on the other side. It's nice to have a wee contour. Do a lot of stuff with lining. It could be a sheet.
So it's got to be cotton then, or is it?
Aye, you better work
Yeah.
with cotton with this particular thing, yeah. So any woven fabric's fine. Upholstery fabric is nice, like curtain weight fabric. It's good
Oh.
for these bags because it gives them that wee bit of structure as well. Because cotton's quite flimsy.
Quite fancy making a big one and using thicker
Yeah.
fabric for Maya for maybe her laundry.
Aye, a
Oh.
big laundry bag, that'd be
That'd be
lovely.
Toys,
nice.
putting her toys in it.
Oh, that'd be
You do
good.
so much with this, it's really, really versatile.
I forgot to mention
Aye.
about the squares, so if you tell me the size again, then I can scale up.
Yeah, it's just a 6-inch square, this is. But you could do rectangles at the top and then have a square at the bottom.
Ah, that would be a good idea.
But the bigger the bag, the more floppy it gets. So this is like an 8-inch square. But I've put quite heavyweight lining in that.
Right.
And I feel it feels kind of a plasticky or papery. I'm quite into it. But you'll see with your other bits of your kit, there's wadding on one of the pieces. That's like what you get in a duvet or something like that.
Yeah.
Use that for quilting, Anne.
Right,
So it's just like duvet,
I see that,
but it's just a flat piece. It's all joined. So I cut them out and I glued them with fabric glue onto the base because that'll give it a wee bit of stability. The bag. So Lisa, if you're doing a big one, you probably best to do 4 big rectangles and quilt them.
Right.
You could actually quilt them, maybe do a wee bit of freehand or something on your machine, and then cut them to the right size after you've quilted them. And then the base would be a square. Whatever your shortest side of your rectangle is, that would be the size of your square. So I've tried that, but it just flopped about because I just used a duvet cover, but I didn't put any lining or facing or anything in it. It was just a straight rectangle and it was dead floppy, it was a bit rubbish. So to give them a wee bit of structure, they do need a bit of something.
Yeah.
Just like a handbag. You know, they've got stuff inside them to make them sturdy. Okay.
Nice.
So let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
Oh, well done. Nice one, you mate.
Way.
Nice.
Well done.
Excellent. So you've got your plus signs.
Yeah.
So Rachel's still struggling away, but that's fine. We're recording it, Rachel, so and I can help you out as well. So what we're going to do now is turn this plus sign into a box. So if you go to the bottom there and just go to the corner and just match your corner, match to the plus sides. These are actually the sides. The plus, see the bits, these that's your bottom piece. Then these 4 pieces are your side pieces. So now we're actually matching the 2 side pieces together, 2 side panels, right sides together. Right, so there, that's my bottom piece here, down here. But now I'm sewing 2 sides together. And you just go right from the edge to edge on this bit. We need them all to match up now. We only needed the space on the bottom piece so that we could do side pieces like this. Okay, so there's your bottom. I'm just saying, Rachel, we're just doing that's the bottom piece, and these are the 4 sides of the bag. So now we're going to join the these two side pieces together, right sides together, match them up, and sew from edge to edge that seam. So go ahead and do that. Edge to edge. We anchor stitch at the start and end again. So now I'm starting to form this shape. So that's me got the bottom piece. That's the bottom piece, and then I don't know how I can demonstrate this, but that's my bottom piece. And then I've done two sides together. So now I'm going to go to another corner and just sew the two sides together. And you're doing the 4 sides round the 4 sides. It's so awkward trying to explain something on Zoom when you want to be beside the person and show them.
I know.
It's really quite a challenge, but
They are doing well, aren't they? The kids are doing well.
aye, they're brilliant.
Want to be a kid again, eh?
Eh, aye. You are doing well and all, aye. It's hard to see whenever you, as you say, Mags, when you hold it up with, you know, front and back, you know.
I've got 2 sides, I've got 3 sides sewn together and a bottom piece. Starting to go into a box shape, do you see that?
Oh, it's great.
So I've just got to do these 2 seams. This one is the last square to be sewn, and it's just the 2 sides I need to do. See, once you know how to do it, you can make tons of them dead quick.
So Lisa need to do all that for a bigger one as well?
You'd need to do, I think, big rectangles, and then put wadding on, and then another layer of fabric, and quilt the 3 layers. You make, it's called a quilt sandwich. And then you just sew the 3 layers together so it doesn't move about inside.
Right.
And then you put that down to the size of the long. It's actually, it's a really great thing to do is quilting.
Oh.
It's so much fun.
Auntie Max,
Huh?
I've got a block.
Oh,
Put your block. Well done.
well done. Well done, Martina.
So it's like a die shape without the top piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well done.
And has beaten you, Lisa. Well, I'm almost there. I've just got one more seam.
You know, WhatsApp's crashed.
Aye. So I had to send you a text.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be sick watching
I'm
this.
doing it the wrong way now. I'm doing it up.
There, so I've now got a box. Let's see if I can show you.
Ah,
Oh,
Yep,
Bay!
all your seams are on the outside. Well done.
Hey, well done, Rachel.
So we've all got a wee box, a wee square.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So that's your lining. All the seams are on the outside. There's all my seams.
Yeah.
So the bottom
Good.
piece is sewed every side, but all the side pieces at the top, they're just sewed from the bottom to the top, and then you've got a whole open space here. And that's going to be the inside of your finished bag here.
Oh
Okay.
my, that's great.
So
Well done.
I'm afraid we're going to have to stop. It's 8 o'clock.
okay, okay.